परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः.
Wonder of Wonders, English rendering of Paramahamsa Sadguru SriSatupasi's Kannada classic, Mahadascharya. Chapter 11. Om Shri Gurudattaya Namaha. A serpent he became to calm down father's anger. Mangalarati 1. To him who made his hurt devotee's reluctant father, who was unwilling to talk, shout for help. The Chinmaya, who in a cluster of weeds opened his hood as a hissing cobra. Once Appaya thrashed me severely for some reason, don't know what. The reason perhaps was this. Sowing seeds is the most important work when it has rained. We were sowing the balli senga, the groundnuts in our lands then. If anyone in the village went for sowing, Appa would get enraged. He would pressurize us relentlessly. Isn't it over? Get the cart ready. Collect seeds for sowing. Did you place the kunte and kurige in the cart? Kunte and kurige are the irrigation tools. Rush up everything and everyone incessantly had become a part of his nature. Just a bit, it's all over, Appa, I would say, and in that rush-driven atmosphere, I drove the cart to the fields, followed by a pair of bullocks tied to the cart. Appa was coming riding on his cycle. On reaching the land, one got ready to drive kurige, the sowing tool. My mother and another lady got ready to sow seeds tying sedde. I should have driven kunte for leveling the plowed ground and removing noxious weeds. After driving kunte 2 or 3 times, kurige operation should have commenced, closely behind it. But I had left behind kunte kuda, a fixture, under the rush of my father's incessant directions. Since I didn't have the fixture kuda, I was just pounding this and hitting that. Appa came and left for the dairy. Returning to the land again, father said, Isn't it over yet? The level line is dried up. Workers in other fields have sown half their lands. I am watching you from a long time, like a deaf one you are. He came near Kunte and asked, What has happened to it? And checked Meli, the handle of the plough, and said, Everything is all right, I say, he said, and lifting the Meli which he had held, said, What is this? Kuda isn't fixed at all. It's in the cart, I said, and began searching for it up and down in the cart. I knew I had forgotten it at home. Didn't get it or what? Appa thundered. No, in that hurry, forgotten that at home, I said, trembling. What did you say? Home destroyer, son of mine, he said, and began thrashing me, as they do a cattle picking up a bandi goosey. He didn't let me, no matter who tried to stop him. I bent down my head and shut my eyes, and lifting my 2 hands up, Please, beat me not, I'll go and fetch Kudi. In my fright, one of my hands has held his shirt packet and the other his collar. My mother said to my father, Ayyo, I'll fall at your feet. Leave him, great man, otherwise hack him with a stroke, trying to get me released from his hands. My father said, Hey, look at this. If I beat him, the son of a whore has held the shirt on my chest. How dare you? Wait and see what I'll do. And bending himself down, he picked up a big stone. My mother came and stood in between us. Then I said, No, father, truly, I haven't held your shirt. I lifted my hand to save my head from being hit. Haven't held your garment. Beat me as much as you can, but please don't say I held the shirt on your chest. I said, crying aloud in great sorrow. My father, in his kindness, said, Go, son of war, go and bring the kuda. I ran at once to Parati. I was crying as I was running. I was stuck with sorrow. Shiva Shiva, why give me such forgetfulness? Mistake is mine. That one has committed no mistake. If I had taken kuda, he wouldn't have bet me at all. I said to myself, weeping and crying, I brought kuda, fixed it to Kunte, and began driving it. Appanavaru went to Dodderi on his bicycle. While driving Kunte, I was sobbing as I was trying to calm myself. Thus we flowed till daybreak and returned home. Appaya had already come home. I parked the cart, securing ropes, and the agadu provided water, grass, and fodder for buffaloes. I slept remembering Shiva Shiva after eating mudde. I woke up in the morning. I scraped and cleaned dung and stood for a while thinking, what might Appaya say? He didn't say anything. Even after a long while, only if Appaya talks to me after beating will I be satisfied, no matter how severe the beating. He shouldn't store in his mind anything about me. However severe may be his thrashing, I would be happy if he talked to me once. At last, I myself went to him and asked, Father, do I go to Kapile? He was just sitting, didn't talk. What do I do? What work? I asked myself and came to Kapile, driving cattle along. I tied bullocks and switched on the motor to let water into the onion plants. Then started watering paddy fields ready for putting saplings and was waiting for Appa's sowing. I was feeling deeply hurt, had no satisfaction at all. Anger against me isn't subsided. What should I do? In fact, I am the one who is kicked, and according to all norms, it's I who should have nursed anger and resistance. Why Appa is so angry? Why is he doing so? Appa, this alone was my thought. Didn't get sleep and I didn't relish food. Finally, he refused to talk. Even when I tried to talk to him, this way, some 2 or 3 days had already passed. One day, I was waiting for Appa's coming while I was holding water on our land. I was doing it, adjusting it to water, let out water from the tank bund above. Walking fast along the canal length, I opened shoulder vents, some here, some there, some that all water would rush down. I stood finally at the place where water was held, because Appa was walking on the tank bund. When he comes with his kache, panche and white shirt, he has to stand slanting to avoid his clothes getting soiled. The dirt of mud was such. Appaya wouldn't like that. Appa would then call me and say, Come, I say, water is overflowing, block it. This was how I was thinking what to do. Appa came to me where I was, making his dhoti wet with water. What to do now? My idea has all gone futile, I told myself. Even when I turned water into the other pot, after the first one was full, Father was standing on the ridge alone. Onion plants are still tender. I kept quiet, even when it is water filled. I expected Father to say, Turn water that side, I say. But he remained quiet. For the other plot, I diverted it off when it was only half filled. I did so only to catch Father's attention. Even then, he didn't talk to me. Shiva Shiva, what more should I do? All my efforts are to make him talk to me for once. If he does it, it It is all, Kannesha, please see to it. I was struggling with him. In the meantime, Appa has picked up in his right hand the weeded out tiny grass roots lying there. He has picked it up to clear the flow of incoming water. In that grass moss is a serpent. Father has picked up one such moss which has a serpent in it. He has held over its neck alone, shocking at seeing what he has himself done. Alelele, come, I say, come running fast. My father has screamed aloud. I stood still, even after seeing the serpent in his hand. I wanted him to call me aright. Come running, home destroyer. How come you can stand still even when I am calling? A serpent is in my hand, he said. I asked him, whom are you calling? Me? Yes, I say, you alone, get a sickle, he said. What am I to do, father? I asked. Appa is shivering with his hands held up aloft. I went fast to him and said, Appa, why do you go to pick up that dirt moss? If you had told me, I would have done that, I said, satisfied that it is a chance to talk to him. Ayo, what shall I do now, I say? He shouted back. Don't get scared. Hurl it at me, I said. He threw the grass serpent in my direction. Picking up the sickle, I tried to finish it. No, serpent, only moss, Appa said. Watch out and search. No serpent, wherever it is searched. Did you see the greatness of our Sri Kanneshwara Swami, who made my father, who cared not to respond to my persistent earlier entreaties, call me? Come running. Om Tat Sat. Om Tat Sat. Om Tat Sat.